What have you learned about yourself from writing this most recent book?
The work needs doing. It's just like there's no way around it. Like it just has to be confronted. And I think it just comes down to that, is you just have to confront the work. And a lot of people put a lot of extra things between them and the work that they try and romanticize. They try and create superstitions around it. They have all these fancy rain dances that they do. But like at the end of the day, the work doesn't care who you are. It just cares that it gets done. And I think in some way, that's one of the great equalizers about product, is that like, in a lot of ways, and this will probably be triggering to some people, but like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like in a fitness example, 500 pounds is 500 pounds. It doesn't care who you are. Like anyone, like Arthur, can pull the sword from the stone if you're strong enough, right? Mm-hmm. And so like, there's a level of work that has to get put in to learn how to run ads. A level of work that has to get put in to learn how to do cold calls. A level of work that has to get put in to learn how to be patient when someone's angry with you, right? Or how to run a team, or how to stick your projects in a sauna, or whatever it is, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're old, you're young, you're male, you're female, you're black, white, Asian, whatever, right? It just needs doing. And I think that a lot of people waste a lot of time not starting. And so I've told this analogy before, we've probably heard it, but I'll say for your audience. There's a study, there's probably a lot of studies been done on this, but you can become proficient in any skill in about 20 hours. So playing the piano, riding a bike, whatever it is, 20 hours of concentrated effort gets you proficient. It's the largest gain in skill improvement, is 20 hours of concentrated effort. The problem is that people will wait a decade to start their first hour. And so you'd be amazed at how much progress you can make if you cut down the time between when you acknowledge the work and when you start doing the work. And I think that over time in my career, what has happened is just that my delay between when I realize I need to do something and when I start doing it has just shrunk, so that I can get to the gain in proficiency that much faster. And then if you think about that over 10 years, right, where one guy does nothing and then he starts, and another guy does 20 hours and 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 20 hours, by the end of that decade, they're not even recognizable. They're not even the same. They're not even the same stratosphere.
Yeah. When you think about a good writer, or a great writer, an unstoppable writer, what comes to mind, and what separates the amazing writers versus everyone else, other than the work? Saying the work, people do put 2,000 hours into a book. What makes for an unstoppable, incredible writer?
I don't think there is something else. I'll qualify this, which is that the work needs feedback. So you gain proficiency with expert eyes giving you feedback on the work you do. Because I'll give you the content example. If I post a short every day for 10 years and I don't change what I'm doing and I just post the same thing, I might not make any progress. And I know people who've made content for 10 years and they have the same size following, right? It's because they don't learn, they don't improve. Like, I'm going to rewind real quick on this, is that the work is required for you, not for the output. Somebody who naturally gets it on the first try, who really just understands it. And this is an easy example. If Mr. Beast's account got canceled tomorrow, he can start another one and get it to millions and millions of followers because he has the skill. And so it's not that the output requires him to go work for 5 years in order to build the following. His skill required him to work for 5 years to get the skill, but then the output does the work after that. And so like the time delay that people talk about, like myself included, when I'm trying, like this is where nuance of advice comes in, right? Where it's like, I tell people, hey, I want you to do 100 reps every day. I don't want you to do the same 100 reps every day. I want you to get better with all the reps. And if you haven't looked at the end of the day and said, what could I do better? How could I improve? And if you don't have somebody on the outside eyes being like, hey, you stumbled here on this call, or hey, when they said this, let's drill this. Let's do this a couple times. That's how you get better, right? And so you have to be willing to do the work and get the feedback to improve. Like the work works on you more than you work on it. And I think that's the piece that people miss. Like my prescription, like of doctor money, of working is for the person's skills, not because I care about the fact that you made 10,000 phone calls. I care about the fact that you got better 10,000 times.